Sego. Today I would like to talk about lacrosse. Now, I'm not a lacrosse player. I didn't do it as a kid on account of my bad eye. I can't see the ball coming towards me. I can't catch it. I just find it frustrating. I've only done a little bit of this in my life, and only with my brother in the backyard who also doesn't play. But I've been around lacrosse players all my life. I got a couple of big names in the family. Right? Lacrosse it's an inextricable part of Six Nations culture. Right? Even people who don't play, they're intimately familiar with it. So what I want to talk about is the social role of lacrosse. There's a couple of functions of the game. It's not just something you go out and you do for recreation. This is a game with a purpose. To begin with, there are the obvious ones, right? Social cohesion, right? You play with your community and you form bonds with your community, so on and so forth. There's also the fitness, right? It's a way to get people out and active, right? Same thing as other sports. It's also a way to show off. If my uncles are telling the truth, then the young girls, they like lacrosse stars, which, again, not so different from other sports. One of the things lacrosse was used for, one of the ways it's different from other sports, is that it was military training, right? The proper word for lacrosse, right, regardless of who you are, it translates as something along the lines of little brother of war. I want to talk about some of the ways that it trains you for war, right? So first there's the general fitness, right? The thing people say about war is you run to attack and you run to retreat, and when you can't run anymore, you die. Lacrosse, you got to be a good runner to be good at lacrosse. It also teaches you hand-eye coordination. You get to judge distance with throwing. You become coordinated in catching things at odd angles. It also teaches you how to work as a team. Right? A bunch of lacrosse players all going out and acting as individuals, that team's not going to get very far. They need to work together. But it also teaches you how to act as an individual within that team. Right? It teaches you how to recognize weaknesses in your enemy's position, how to exploit them. It teaches you how to recognize weaknesses in your own position and how to shore them up. Something that's said about the great players is that they know where to be. Right? Talking to somebody about one of my uncles, and they were saying that he was always in the right place at the right time, and that was a big part of what made him a great lacrosse player. Right? It also teaches you, though, about the people you're going to be going to war with. Right? The guys in your lacrosse team, they're probably going to be the same guys in your war band. So you learn where you can rely on them and where you can't. You learn each other's weaknesses and strengths. You form a bond. I'm not going to go out of my way to keep Johnny No Name alive, but I'm going to go to great lengths to keep my team alive. So another thing it teaches you how to do is it teaches you how to take hits. This is a substantial piece of hickory here. I remember playing as a kid. I got a couple of hits. Man, they stung. But looking at my cousins playing the game, every one of them has had a broken bone from being checked in the ribs or thwacked on the wrist with one of these things. Listen to my uncles talk. It's like they've been in the war for all the broken bones they got. It teaches you how to take a hit and keep running, right? My grandfather, my papa, he used to say that the great ones, they play hurt, right? That's something it teaches you. All of these are useful skills in war. Now, beyond being training for war, lacrosse was also used as sort of a surrogate for war. Back in the day, there's some conflict between, say, the Senecas and the Mohawks. Well, 1,000 years ago, if neither side is willing to compromise, it would be war. Confederation, it's decided, okay, neither of us is willing to compromise, so let's settle this with a game of lacrosse, right? So the two sides, right, rather than going and fighting it out over their irreconcilable differences, they'd say, okay, if you can beat us at lacrosse, we will concede this dispute to you. However, if we win, you concede to us. And thus, unity was maintained between the Six Nations. This was also applied to some of the nations surrounding. If there's a peace that people want to maintain, if things aren't so bad that war is necessary, okay, we're going to play a game and keep everybody alive, right? So I want to close this video off by recommending a documentary. It's on YouTube. It's not very long. The video quality is not all that. It was sort of a bad transfer, but it's up there. Or if you want, you can try and find a real copy, pay for it. So the documentary is called The Creator's Game. The link is in the description. It's got some notable people in there. It's got one of my uncles, and it's got my grandfather in there. It's also got the fellow who made this stick. Great documentary. Go check it out if you're interested. No doubt I'll think of something I should have said, but that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I'll have another related video out tomorrow.